Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this crown, and what I'll do is I'll just go through the techniques. Now beforehand, I will mention a few things. First of all, sandpaper. I normally start off with it's a 120 grit. It comes in cloth, it's really quite hardy. Then I usually go down to a 240 grit paper, and then last but not least, an 800 grit. Now, when you're sanding these, because a 3D printer prints vertically, you want to sand up and down, and that way you'll get most of it off. Also, you've got these little eye bits here and so forth. They're quite deep in, so you don't have to really worry about losing detail. Up here, you'll find the fact that it's the most problems. On the inside of any 3D print, unless of course it's going to be showing lots, I really don't do a lot of sanding. I give it a light sand. Apart from that, I just usually leave it alone. From what I understand, these crowns have like a little cushion or something put inside of them. So for the most part, that isn't going to be seen. Also, the fact, if believe it or not, you actually want it a little bit rough in there, because if it's a little bit rough, things will stick a lot easier. So normally what I do is I'll get my good old 120 here, rip off a bit, and I'll sand. Just up and down. I'll just do one bit here for the moment. Now, when you sand, you get that nice sound. That means it's just taking down the little ridges. It's, if you do this enough, you'll understand the sound after a while. Now, at the moment, all I want to do is give it an all-over sand. I just really want to go hard with it, really sort of get in there. Once that's done, I'll then start working on these little bits up here, give them a good rubbing down. Now, the problem with anybody, and I'm guilty of this myself, is sometimes these little connector corners and so forth, they're a little bit more of a pain in the arse, so you've really got to get in there and really give them a good sanding. Now, I will say don't go too hard, but I mean, this is what, 120, so you want to give it a reasonably decent sanding. I mean, as long as you don't go too hard, you're not going to reach the shell on the inside. And I normally print these things quite thick, so people that are doing this for the first time can go a little bit harder and not have a problem. When you're doing the eyes in particular, or anything that has a little bit of indented detail, get your thumb, just get it in there and have a bit of a rub. Now, just bear with me a sec. Now, you've got, I don't know how the camera's doing. So now, if I press over here with my fingernail, I get that weird sort of scratchy sound. If you do it here, it's a lot less because it's been sanded back. It's a lot smoother. I don't know if the camera's picking up how much smoother it is, but here you can see the ridges and so forth. And here, hopefully you can see that there's a fair amount less. Then what I do is I go to the 240. Once again, just grab a small piece off. This time you're not going as hard. Now that's coming up really smooth, which is what you want. Now you're not going to get all of it off, but that's perfectly fine. As long as you get a large portion of it off. What you're looking for is more just to make the next stage a lot easier. And then if you're a bit more annoying person like I am, I use the 800. Now this, once again, a tiny little bit, and then just rub it over. Once again, this is just to get all those fine little bits. You want to get it as silky smooth as possible. I've said this 1,000 times and I'll say it again. If your base is looking good, then the next couple of stages are easy. So do the hard slog now, get this as smooth as possible, best you can, because then the next stage is actually quite easy and messy. But if this is all nice and smooth, then that becomes a lot easier. So what I'll do is I'll sand this down and then I will get to the next stage, which is spack filling. Talk to you soon. Bye.